Newcastle would get a late consolation goal, but this was a thrashing from Arsenal on Eddie Howe's side as they would win by 4 goals to 1. Don Hutchison joins us to add his 2 pennies to this game. Craig, I want to start with you. How good were Arsenal again?
Yep, strong, very strong. This wasn't a contest. It wasn't a contest. I mean, and that's embarrassing for Newcastle. Really embarrassing. We could take this City, Arsenal, Liverpool. It's going to be a bun fight, we know that. But one of the things, apart from all the facets of Arsenal's game, that continues to impress me is when they have a team down early and struggling, they are one of the best, if not the best, at not allowing them out at their own half. It basically smothering them, and then that means it's just coming back and coming back and coming back, and the pressure, and Arsenal were absolutely brilliant at it. There must have been 20 to 25 minutes before Newcastle even got the ball forward into what we would call an attacking position. And again, we talk about Havertz. I really don't have an issue if they've got problems up front, if he goes in one of those front 3 positions, right? That's what he's more natural at. Where I do still have a problem is where he played him in midweek in the midfield, and I just don't think that works. And I think when Havertz goes up front, it's not brilliant, but at least he's in a more natural habitat up there. I think the middle of the park's a completely different kettle of fish. And as you know, in midweek against Porto away, I felt he should have had an extra midfielder in there, the same as he did against Liverpool, and he's gone back to that today. Jorginho comes in and it allows Rice to go and help Odegaard. And as I say, that means when they lose it, they've got these players in the forward positions. And as I said, it wasn't much of a contest, was it, Stevie?
They're like a runaway train at the moment, Stevie.
Yeah, I think that's the key on the defensive side of it. That Declan Rice isn't sitting behind the other 2.
Right.
When Havertz is in that middle with Odegaard, it's the 2 of them that are the first defensive unit, and they're not. That's not their game. So the fact that Declan Rice is that bit further forward and Jorginho's sitting, that is the real reason, the main reason that teams can't get out. And I've never seen a team just hoof the ball to try and get some breathing space as many times as Newcastle did in the first half. They were just sticking their toe in the end of it and trying to get out their own box, never mind out their own half. I mean, it was a complete and utter annihilation. And I've got to tell you, Dan, I was being sarcastic when we were watching this and I was talking about the argument we had about Newcastle regressing. But I'll tell you what, I was thinking to myself, what was I thinking?
Well, I think that's what most were thinking.
I thought this Newcastle side...
Bring in the humble pie!
I thought this Newcastle side, once they got some players back, would get back on the train and start going out. And my goodness, and the 2 centre-backs typifies what Newcastle is right now. Shire and Botman last season were absolutely fantastic. This year, they've been absolutely rotten.
Yeah, Don, they were saying on the commentary that Newcastle have conceded more goals since December than any other side in the Premier League.
Incredible. And I think the boys are right. I think when you look at Newcastle's strong point last season, Dan, it was clean sheets. I've been banging the drum for Sven Botman, for a long time, thinking he's different class, and he is. He was awful today. Fabian shared the same. Normally, when you look at that back line, it's a strong back line. But, I mean, the boys were right in terms of how Arsenal smothered them. I mean, Newcastle were just smashing it clear. They were trying to get up to Isak. It wasn't sticking. Rice, Odegaard, I think, were sensational midfield. Jorginho got man of the match on the TV over here, and I think rightly so because he controlled the game. But they were relentless. But Newcastle, you're right, Dan, were all over the place.
I think what was so impressive from Arsenal's point of view, Don, was how right from the off, bang, they completely set their stall out and Newcastle just couldn't recover.
Absolutely that, Dan. They win at Newcastle. They got the early goal. It was relentless. I mean, Newcastle were trying to get out. They couldn't. But I think was more... I mean, I know they've hit West Ham for 6 and they hit Burnley for 5, Arsenal, but I think that was their best performance by a mile this season. It was how aggressive they were. They took no prisoners. They were slick in their passing. It wasn't just laboured. It wasn't just keeping possession for possession's sakes. It was 1 and 2 touch into the front men, getting it wide, putting the squeeze on. If they give the ball away, they'd hunt it back. Newcastle just couldn't breathe. But it was the quality of Arsenal that blew me away. I thought they struggled about sort of 6 or 7 weeks ago when they lost a couple of games and confidence was a little bit low. Now you're seeing a team, I think, that scored 25 in 6 games and absolutely flying.
Needed a performance after Porto, didn't they? Really, they were.
Yeah, that was flat.
It was flat, and Porto had all the tricks in the book to stop the flow of the game, and tactically made. I don't think he got the team right in terms of not playing the extra midfielder in Jorginho, and then Rice gets booked after a minute, so he's on his tippy toes, can't really make a challenge, and so that was a big response for that. But the other side is even as Stevie said, hoofing it forward from Newcastle to get a breather, but it's not as if you're hoofing it forward and you've got a couple of big dumplings. You've got Saliba and Gabriel at the back, who are manning the ship while everybody else is sort of pressing and organising themselves. And is there a better pairing at the moment in the league? Because Liverpool have had the problems in there. Matip's been out. There's young Konza's been in. It's probably going to be Konate tomorrow alongside Van Dijk. And you look at Man City defensively. We've talked about it. They've looked a bit shaky at times. Those two, and I suppose in some sense as well, Kivior coming in for Zinchenko, it's kind of stopped that. Oh, let's go and sort of flaff about in the middle with the extra. He's more of a natural fullback. So they've all of a sudden got White on one side and Kivior on the other, and they've got four guys. Yeah, they'll get forward, but guess what? They want to defend as well, and that's given them some stability at the back.